I'm Kiana, and I met Curtis about 2 summers ago.
And what was your first impression of Curtis?
I thought he was really cute, and he seemed like the fun kind of person to be around.
What's your favorite memory of Curtis?
It sounds really weird, but there was this one night when we were walking down that road by Food Basics, and I felt kind of like sick to my stomach, and I didn't really want to walk. So then they found this wheelbarrow, and I don't know, Curtis just like pushed me in the wheelbarrow down the road so I wouldn't have to walk.
What's something that reminds you of Curtis?
Well, wheelbarrows now. I know that sounds really weird, but yeah.
I'm Sydney, and I've known Curtis since the summer of grade 9.
So, can you tell us a little bit more about how you met him?
We were at Ryan's, and it was just like a couple people hanging out one night.
And what was your first impression of Curtis?
I thought he was really nice, and he seemed really funny.
What's your favorite memory of him?
I think my favorite memory was one night when we were at Ryan's again, and we had been trying to fall asleep the entire night, but Curtis and Taylor kept like waking us up or playing their music, and they kept talking and they wouldn't let us go to sleep.
And what's something that reminds you of Curtis?
Every time I hear an Odd Future song, it just makes me think of him.
Hi, I'm John.
How long have you known Curtis?
I've known him since the beginning of grade 7, so like 6 years now.
And when did you meet him?
I met him through my brother, and they were just playing outside my house, and we just started hanging out. My first impression of him, I thought he was goofy looking with his matching basketball shirt and his jersey. I just thought he looked funny, but he was awesome.
And what's your favorite memory of him?
Probably my favorite memory of him was probably like all of us just skateboarding downtown all day in the summer.
What's something that reminds you of Curtis?
Something that reminds me of Curtis would probably be my skateboard, because that's what we did all the time together.
Hi, my name is Bryan Meglei, and I was one of Curtis's old friends.
When did you first meet Curtis?
I think that was back in grade 9, yeah.
What was your first impression of him?
Radical.
What's your favorite memory of him?
Probably when we were hanging out in my friend Nick's car, just blasting his favorite song by Odd Future Oldie. Sick times.
What's something that reminds you of Curtis?
A lot of things, but I'd probably narrow it down to skateboards and snapbacks.
Hey, my name is Dayne Randa, and Curtis was a real good friend of mine.
When did you first meet Curtis?
I met him probably back in grade 9. We were probably, it was probably over at the church by my old house. He was probably over there skateboarding with John Mao and Zach Morell, and I was like, hey, let's go skateboard with this guy. He looks pretty good at it.
What was your first impression of Curtis?
Same thing pretty much, but you know, I was like, okay, well, this guy's got glasses, but he's doing like kickflips. And I'm like, how does this even work out, man? Like, he is pretty good at it. Like, I don't know, he was a great guy at it.
What's your favorite memory of Curtis?
You know what? I used to be a pretty big gamer, and I used to always meet him online. He was pretty sick at online games, but skateboarding with him, those were some good times. Just all around, just sweetness, you know?
What's something that reminds you of Curtis?
I'd have to say, like, whenever you hear just like skateboards rolling down the road, I just like think of like, that's exactly what I think of.
Hey, I'm Zach. I was one of Curtis's friends from high school.
When did you first meet Curtis?
Grade 9 tech class.
What was your first impression of him?
Thought he was a positive, funny guy.
What's your favorite memory of Curtis?
That would be when he would always ask me to go take pictures of him skateboarding, him trying really hard stuff with his skateboard, and he just wouldn't give up, and yeah, just taking pictures of him skateboarding.
What's something that reminds you of Curtis?
anytime I hear someone say try it again, do it again, and someone who's trying to motivate someone to do something, that's what reminds me of him.
Hi guys, I'm Nick Randall. I'm one of Curtis's good friends.
When did you meet Curtis?
The first time I met Curtis was when we played hockey together when we were little.
What was your first impression of him?
I thought he was a funny, cool guy.
What's your favorite memory of him?
I have to say playing hockey with him, just fooling around at the rink and, going to tournaments and stuff with him.
Something that reminds you of Curtis?
I don't know, it's all happened so fast. I have to say everything right now, but I don't know, the biggest thing would be people skateboarding, I think, because that was one of Curtis's favorite things to do. It just reminds me of him.
My name is Karen Fletcher. I teach visual arts at Grand River. I first met Curtis in my grade 10 class. In grade 10 I teach sculpture, and I knew him in grade 10 and I knew him in grade 11, and I saw him in the hall from time to time in grade 12. Okay, so that's my connection with Curtis.
So what stood out about Curtis to you?
When I first met Curtis when he was in grade 10, he seemed like he was pretty quiet and pretty shy, and he kind of kept to himself, and he seemed a little bit unsure of himself and unsure of what he could do. As the year progressed and Curtis worked through a few projects, I remember specifically his pot, it seemed like he gradually gained a bit more confidence.
What was your favorite thing about Curtis as a student?
Curtis was unfailingly polite. He didn't always get to class on time. He didn't always finish his work on time, but he was always kind to the other people in the class, and he was unfailingly polite, and that really stood out about him.
What was Curtis's artistic style like?
I think Curtis saw the world with slightly different eyes. He wasn't a realist artist, that's for sure. When you ask him to draw things realistically, he struggled with that, and he tended to simplify what he was drawing. He was better at abstraction, and if I remember his pot in grade 10 correctly, he was really a pretty good designer. Like, he had a really good sense of design.